The whole point of this is to make a copper ring like this for the purpose of expanding my capabilities to maybe make a bigger ring like this. The company I hired did a marvelous job with turning or rolling a 3/8 thick piece of copper plate for me. I just want to see if I can do it myself. This is the stainless steel crucible I made. It doesn't have a bottom because once the drywall mixture gets poured in, it hopefully will hold the temperature. I'll probably be hitting it with about 1900 to 2000 degrees, enough to make the copper liquid. This is just easy mix drywall mud. Cures up in about 45 minutes, or hardens up about 45 minutes, and then I'm going to put it into the furnace, the kiln, and fully cure it up, remove all the water. The mix is already done. It's nice and thick. It's actually starting to feel a little warm, just barely. So I'm just going to put it in here. This is the stainless steel crucible I made. It doesn't have a bottom because once the drywall mixture gets poured in, it hopefully will hold the temperature. I'll probably be hitting it with about 1900 to 2000 degrees, enough to make the copper liquid. Let's give this about 45 minutes to an hour to harden up before setting the kiln. And then we'll sit in the kiln, let it heat for about 15 minutes, pull it out, drill in the nice little hole with a hole saw, and then melt some copper. I went ahead and used the hole saw to cut a little band in there. Now this is obviously not very accurate. The plaster's cracked around areas. This is more just an experiment to see how well the copper will cast inside of this ring, inside the mold that is inside the kiln. Once I pull it out, I'm going to stick on the lathe and look for the purity, if there's any air pockets, that kind of thing. Check the purity of the metal. Alright, that's pretty darn hot. It's not as bright as it's seen on the camera. I'm going to give it a little ways to cool off. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Look at that. Underside of there is glowing. It's pretty warm. Pretty darn warm. Alright. The crucible is out of the kiln now. And I'm just going to break it up to see where all my copper went. Drywall compound's still glowing red inside. Something's still glowing red. Now this is hollow on the bottom. I don't know where all my copper went to. But it pretty much turned back into powder. It didn't hold its shape. For all that copper I put in, there's a piece. You know, I bet what happened, because the mold is not fireproof in the least, it flowed out and melted onto the bottom. But that's what happened. It just melted in as liquid would, sipped through the cracks, and melted to the bottom. So, something I've learned about this, if you're going to do copper out of a mold, probably make the mold fireproof and really high heat temperature proof, like this. Oh, there it is. That's the copper in there, parts of it at least. Make the mold out of this 3,000 degree temperature concrete or something that can withstand it. Well, that's it for today. Click here to subscribe to my channel.